Welcome to another lesson by BeWell, shaping the health and care workforce of tomorrow. The BeWell project addresses the need to prepare the health and care workforce for green and digital solutions introduced in the European health and care systems to ensure they can respond to current and future challenges. Welcome back. In this lesson, we will delve deeper into the RIS system. Let's get started.
Following the previous lesson regarding the technical and design specifications of a RIS PAC system, it is necessary to delve into the specific functionalities and applications of RIS. RIS offers numerous advantages in the management of a radiology department, including patient administration, management of availability and waiting lists, centralized appointment booking center, archiving and importing of reports, medium and long term. Patient management, admission, discharge, transfer. Processing and distribution of work lists. Accounting management, reporting, consumables. Then something about applications of RIS in radiological workflow. The process of reporting starts from the appointment or the patient's initial contact with the facility and concludes with the administrative closure of the activities performed. It involves the following phases, which may or may not be computerized depending on the hospital context. Examination request. When an examination request arrives in the radiology department, the RIS initiates processes that involve gathering administrative and clinical information. Administrative information includes patient demographics, the type of examination to be performed, the operator, the room, and any time constraints for the examination, urgent or routine. These data can be collected directly from the patient or acquired from other information systems. For example, the patient's name and surname can be retrieved from the municipal registry system, and the type of examination can exist within the hospital or regional information system. An automated data acquisition method is through the patient's regional health card, if available. The second type of data collected by the RIS in this phase is clinical information, which primarily concerns the reason for the examination. Radiology scheduling. The next phase managed by the RIS is updating the radiology schedule based on the available resources such as rooms, equipment, and personnel. The RIS searches the central server's archive for any previous data related to the patient, appointments, admissions, reports to detect incompatibilities between examinations or to indicate the completion of the requested examination. After these operations, the RIS schedules an appointment and generates an informational sheet, which is handed to the patient or sent to the department, providing the necessary preparation instructions for the specific examinations. Admission. When the patient arrives for the diagnostic examination, it provides an opportunity for the RIS to correct or supplement the data collected up to that point. These pre-examination data may also aim to refine the authorization process for the examination, which is only performed after verifying the appropriateness of the examination and excluding any relative or absolute contraindications. If the examination is authorized, the RIS proceeds with admitting the patient to the examination, which should be distinguished from administrative admission. When digital diagnostic equipment, angiography, CT, MRI, etc., is connected to the RIS through work lists or room schedules, patient data is automatically entered without the operator's intervention. This automated data transfer between the RIS and the equipment helps prevent errors that could lead to information mismatches. Examination execution. This phase corresponds to the production of diagnostic images and associated data. It also includes information on image acquisition techniques, such as patient positioning and the use and administration method of contrast agents. If the images are in DICOM format, this data can be directly provided to the RIS without the need for additional files. The DICOM standard specifies that alphanumeric information, including patient demographics, technical details, and procedural information, should be included in a predefined section of the image file called the header. And now focus on reporting and delivery. After the examination, the IS assists in the interpretation of images and report generation. This is done through the following methods: compiling a reporting list to establish the priority of reports, for example, based on the referring department or the interpreting radiologist, displaying previously performed examinations by the patient, known as the radiological history, and displaying electronically archived reports of previous examinations. The report typically includes 1. Description of the examination performed, often automatically generated by the IS. 2. Examination code. 3. Description of radiological findings observed in the images. 4. Diagnostic hypothesis and differential diagnosis. And 5. Diagnostic coding. Even in the more strictly clinical aspect, the IS can contribute to the compilation of the report by allowing the retrieval of pre-stored texts based on the type of pathology. In some cases, the entry of free texts can be directly performed by the IS through dedicated modules that enable voice input, that is, capable of interpreting the radiologist's speech and transforming it into a text file. At this point, the radiologist who conducted the diagnostic investigation reviews the entered text and validates it with a handwritten or digital signature, making it available for delivery. In a complete system, the IS sends the report text to the PACS, updating the DICOM file. The signed report remains the only legally binding copy. The development and adoption of digital signatures have made the reporting process much more secure, especially in terms of identifying the doctors who made the assertion. With this method, in addition to ensuring security through verification prints and encrypted documents, it is always possible to trace the operators who performed or reported an examination, making it a reliable and difficult to manipulate evidence in case of legal disputes. Regarding archiving, the IS handles the storage of textual information collected and generated during the diagnostic process. The Picture Archiving and Communication System, PACS, is the information system used for image archiving. Generally, the IS keeps all reports online for at least 1 year. Subsequently, the report is placed on an offline storage medium, which is accessible through manual retrieval by an operator who inserts the memory support into a reader. The progressive reduction in the cost of digital memories is leading to a gradual abandonment of offline archiving, with the entire archive of reports being kept immediately accessible. It's important now to talk about administrative purposes. In recent years, the commercialization of hospital facilities has driven the adoption of IS in all radiology departments as a tool to analytically document work activities. This attention has become more stringent due to the introduction of budgets, which require precise identification of the number and type of examinations performed and their allocation to different departments within the hospital. About quality assurance. Quality assurance is another essential function that a modern IS should include, going beyond the previously mentioned fundamental activities. Today, what used to be considered advanced functions have become indispensable. An example is the involvement of the IS in verifying the quality of radiological diagnoses produced. It is evident that the IS is not directly responsible for performing this verification, but rather assists radiologists in following up the clinical course of examined patients after reporting and comparing these results with the originally formulated radiological diagnosis. Based on the degree of concordance between the radiological diagnosis and the definitive diagnosis in light of biopsy, surgical intervention, autopsy, or follow-up data, it is possible to establish the diagnostic performance of individual operators and the department as a whole. Additionally, it allows the creation of an educational archive of verified cases. LTE talk about maintenance management of equipment. A very important feature of the IS is its widespread distribution throughout the department, with a network of workstations accessible to all professionals. Therefore, among the functions that the IS can perform, especially considering the frequent interaction by the entire staff, an example of particular interest is the collection of information necessary for optimized management of the equipment present in the department, with a specific focus on maintenance monitoring. In fact, the system can be notified for each piece of equipment of its usage status, workload, machine downtime, etc. It is well known that efficient management of radiological equipment cannot be achieved without accurate monitoring of their maintenance. This is not only due to the importance of having equipment in optimal conditions for clinical work but also within the framework of resource management, considering that the cost of maintenance contracts significantly impacts expenses. It is, therefore, essential to ensure that the maintenance of diagnostic equipment is adequate both technically and economically. One possible methodological approach for this purpose is based on utilizing the RIS for data collection and management related to the maintenance status of various equipment. To enable this data collection, it is necessary to set up a monitoring sheet within the RIS for each piece of equipment.
In this lesson, we delved into the fundamentals of the RIS PACS system architecture. Let's continue with the upcoming lessons. See you soon!